Well, the polls have shown it has been both a very rough week for Donald Trump and a, well, maybe perhaps a little bit better week for Hillary Clinton. Take a look at the latest Fox News poll. It has Hillary Clinton up 10 points, 49 to 39. So how does Donald Trump try and make up some lost ground? For more on that, Ian Pryor, Communications Director for American Crossroads, David Morey, Chairman and CEO of DMG Global. Gentlemen, nice to see you.
Hi, Leland. How are you?
Doing well.
Good to be with you, Ian.
Nice to see you. All right, so Ian, first to you. Is it possible to make up these 10 points, or is this sort of the end?
Oh, it's certainly possible. The question is, when is it going to happen? I mean, Donald Trump needs to stop throwing the ball to the other team. We're in August. These things have happened before where he's gone off message or he's been undisciplined and he's been able to recover. And let's be honest here. He is not running against a strong candidate.
Wait, Ian, you say he's been able to recover, but never before, even in the primaries, has he gone through a time where his poll numbers just plummeted like this.
Well, again, let's look at the DNC bounce that Hillary got, and we had 10 days, which I'm not going to sugarcoat it, were probably the worst 10 days of Donald Trump's campaign. But once we get into September, things could be different. He's going to have to work harder at staying disciplined. He's going to have to start airing ads. That's one thing that he hasn't been doing. We saw a big missed opportunity here with Hillary Clinton coming out and lying to Chris Wallace. That should have been supplemented with ads from the Trump campaign by Monday. The fact that it wasn't is concerning, but if he can get up there with a paid advertising campaign, he can make up some of this ground.
Yeah, and we just saw an ad come out late yesterday afternoon from them on this very issue. David, we had a guest on in the last hour saying Clinton's team is sort of perplexed by her continued denials and obfuscations when it comes to the email scandals, to the point the Washington Post is now giving her four Pinocchios. Why? Why is the Clinton campaign not trying to capitalize on this Donald Trump thing and instead allowing itself to be caught up in these continued lies?
Well, I think they're going to move past that very, very quickly, and they'll need to. The more they talk about emails, the worse it gets, unless there's some kind of new news and they have to respond to something. I mean, she's talking about some complicated legal issues that the American people don't understand, perhaps. Out of 30,000 emails, three of them had a very
David, it's not that complicated. Either she had classified information on her server or she didn't. She told the American people she didn't. The FBI director says she did, and she continues to say, I didn't. That's not that complicated.
Well, I disagree that it's not that complicated. It's a pretty complicated issue. Number one, the FBI director said there was no intent, which is why there was no indictment. Number two, he said she told the truth to the FBI. And number three, he said it was extremely careless. And she has then agreed with the first two, and she's characterized extremely careless as I'd never do it again. It was a big mistake. The issue of complexity,
but again, she still hasn't told the truth.
Hang on, let me finish my point. The issue of the complexity is out of 30,000 emails, 3 of them had very small markings that indicated classified. She said she didn't see them, and obviously other people say she should have.
Ian, why are we not hearing Donald Trump just hammering away at this issue and saying, look, if the FBI director calls you careless, how can you be president, and on these kinds of things? When Trump's on the stump, we don't hear about these issues. Why not?
Well, we should. I mean, I think the problem is that he's getting distracted with all these other side issues. If I were to advise Donald Trump, I'd say you should be talking about 4 things on the stump, right? The economy, national security, immigration, and Hillary Clinton. And that's it. If you're not talking about those 4 things, you're not winning. Those 4 things are ripe for Trump, and he needs to be focusing every single bit of his energy on that, not getting in fights with, members of House leadership or incumbent senators running for re-election.
Or Gold Star family.
Exactly.
It's interesting when you look at sort of a deeper dive in these poll numbers. We know Team Clinton does a lot of polling. We know Trump says, why should I pay for polling when the media does it for him? We've done a little bit of polling, put some of these numbers up. Honest and trustworthy. Noteworthy that only 36% of the American populace trusts whoever the next president is going to be, whether it's Clinton or Trump. Same number there. About 2/3 say they do not think the next president will be honest and trustworthy. So why the big difference between Clinton and Trump in preference? Take a look at the next poll. Who has temperament to be the next president of the United States? Clinton, yes, she has the temperament, 64%. Trump only has 37% of Americans saying that he has the temperament to be president. Interestingly enough, about 37% of Americans support him in the latest Fox News poll. Ian, possible to turn that kind of number around in the next 3 months?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely possible. I think, again, one of the things that's been disappointing is that the convention was viewed as a reset opportunity for Donald Trump to go out there and show that he has the temperament, to show that he has the vision. And I think he did an excellent job. I think his speech was very good, and it showed his vision. But unfortunately, this latest, controversy distracts from that. So he does have the opportunity to go back to convention Donald Trump, get his message out there, show that he has the temperament, and he can improve that. Because the bottom line is Hillary Clinton's trustworthy numbers, they're baked in. They're not getting any better. People just don't trust her, and her lying has now gotten to pathological levels.
David, I'm going to give you the last word on this in the sense that is Team Clinton worried that if all of a sudden Donald Trump does get on message, all of a sudden Donald Trump does start speaking off a prompter and going after Clinton on the 4 issues that Ian just talked about, are they worried that she could be in trouble, or do they feel like they're pretty confident right now?
No, they should be worried because operating as an insurgent, which is the way to win a campaign, we have found, and the ones that we've won, is the only way to operate. You've got to be a little paranoid. I mean, both candidates are unelectable in some ways. Donald Trump has a 63% unfavorable, as you said. She has a 55% unfavorable, Hillary Clinton. So you got to kind of get relatively better in terms of the unfavorables. Donald Trump is, he's got to reboot now. You can actually lose an election in August unless he reboots. And I'm agreeing with what my colleague on the other end of the wire, the TV wire here. You've got to reboot. He's got to get the message discipline that Newt Gingrich talked about. If he talks 1% of the time about the Khan family, Russia, Paul Ryan, Judge Carriel, the media will cover that 80% of the time. So he's going to have to really get much more disciplined and do an actual reboot of his trajectory to win this election. It's his election in some ways to win. I'm agreeing with, with what you're both saying. 82% of the American people are angry. They say wrong track. It's a very hard election for a natural sort of incumbent, in some ways running for a third term of Obama, if you will, to win that election. So, in some ways it's Trump's to lose.
Well, and some folks would say that we'll see a new Donald Trump on Monday. We've heard that before. Time will tell. David, Ian, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you.